Hello students, today we are going to do Act 3, Scene 2. We start from line number 75, that is Bassanio's speech. In the last video, it was explained till the song was being played while Bassanio was making a choice, and the song probably gives a clue to Bassanio. The song apparently has a warning against judging by the outward appearances. After the song, we continue. This speech of Bassanio is really an important one. So may the outward shows be least themselves. Bassanio here is reasoning like other suitors. It is a monologue. Even the previous dialogue of Portia is a monologue. Now what is a monologue? Monologue is when one person is speaking his or her thoughts aloud. Outward show here means appearances. Be least themselves means not at all what they appear to be. It means extra show has no value. Now what is he doing? He is looking at the cascade and he is saying this, that extra show, the one that are very showy, these have no value at all. The world is still deceived with ornament. The world here refers to the people, and this line means the people are always deceived by the ornaments. Here, ornament refer to anything that is showy and catches your attention. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with the gracious voice? In the court of law, a case plea here means a case which is bad and dishonest. Seasoned with means covered up. With the gracious voice means covered up by an eloquent language. By a fine lawyer who has a pleasant voice. It is actually said, if you can't convince them, then confuse them. That is what the lawyers do. Even if it's a dishonest case, they try to cover it up by their good language, by their eloquent language. Obscure the show of evil. He might cover up the face of the evil. So this lawyer who is very good at talking will cover up a dishonest case with his eloquence. That is his art of speaking. Now this is the second example what we are going to read now in religion. The first one is about the law. Okay, you have to remember how many examples he has given here. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with the gracious voice? This is the second example about religion, and the first one is of law. Here Bassanio says, in religion, what damned error means great sin. If someone has committed a great sin, but some sober bro here means some devotedly religious person. He can quote the Bible and approve what he has done wrong is right. That means a person who has committed a sin and has the knowledge of holy book, by just quoting any text from the religious text, and would prove himself to be right, hiding what he is doing. Like for example, a person who doesn't work hard and is a lazy person, he would try to justify his actions by giving a quote. Like for example, a quote given in Gita. What is that? You come here empty-handed and you will leave empty-handed. What is yours today belonged to someone else yesterday and will belong to someone else tomorrow. This is said by Sri Krishna. So this lazy person might justify his actions, saying that what is the use of working hard when everything has to go to someone else tomorrow? Okay, so there is no vice so simple but assumes some mark of virtue on his outward parts. This means that every sin in the world manages to make itself look good some on the other way. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as tears of sand wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars. Here, Bassanio says how many cowards with hearts as unreliable as a staircase which is built on sand is unreliable, as when you keep a step on it, instead of climbing up, you will go down. So, he says some people who are cowards keep a beard to resemble like Hercules, the god of strength, and frown like Mars, the god of war. They have a beard like Hercules and frown like Mars to hide their cowardice, and so people keep away from them. That's why it is said looks are deceptive and we should never judge a book by its cover. Who inward searched have livers white as milk, and these assume but velar excrement to render them redoubted. Bassanio says if we search beneath the surface, they might be having livers as white as milk. Now, the Elizabethans thought the liver is the seat of courage. Hence, white livered means a coward. As quoted in the Bible, a brave man's liver is said to be red with blood. They thought a brave man had a red liver while a coward had a white one, and these assume a whaler's excrement, and people assume that looking at beard that they are brave, to render then redoubtful means make them seem courageous. This is the third example of cowardice. Look on beauty, and you shall see it is purchased by weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear it. Beauty here means cosmetic. He means you will see here that cosmetics can be brought from a shop which works miracle in nature by making those who wear it most become the lightest. Now here, lightest means by look fairer. As their appearance changes, they look more beautiful, and it also means by character, as they buy to hide their real looks under loads of makeup. Now that is the fifth example given here. So are those crisp, snaky golden locks which make such wanton gambols with the wind. Now Bassanio says, think of those women who have crisp means curly golden colored hair, and the way they move because of the wind makes them look beautiful with the wind, means play a game with the wind. Upon supposed fairness, often known to be the dowry of a second head, the skull that bred them in the sepulchre. Upon supposed fairness means over a face supposed to be beautiful, often known to be the dowry of second head, means it is often known that they, that is hair, belong to another head. The skull that bred them in sepulchre means the skull on which they grew is lying in the tomb. Bassanio is trying to say the woman who is looking beautiful because of her hair, those hair do not belong to her, as she is wearing a wig, and the one to whom it belongs is lying in her grave. Thus ornament is but the gilded shore to a most dangerous sea. Ornament means outward adornment. So Bassanio here compares ornaments to a dangerous shore, which looks shallow, but when you go down, you come to know it's very deep, and so are ornaments. If you trust ornaments, then you are going to get the shock of your life. The beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty, in a word. The beauteous scarf means the lovely scarf veiling an Indian beauty, means covering an Indian beauty. Here, Indian means dark skinned. The Elizabethan ideal of beauty was blonde with a fair skin. They thought of the dark skinned West Indies as Indians. In a word, means in short. The seeming truth which cunning times put on to entrap the wisest. Seeming truth means a false appearance of truth. Cunning time means crafty people. Here he means this is the appearance of truth which clever people put on to make a trap for the wisest people to fall in it. Many times wise people get deceived by outward appearance. Therefore, though gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee, nor none of thee. So therefore he rejects the gold casket. He called gold hard food for Midas, that is, solid food which King Midas could not eat. Midas was a worthy king in Greek mythology who desired that all things he touched should be turned into gold. The request was granted, but as even the food he touched became gold, he asked Dionysus to take his favor back, which the god did. Will none of these means will not have anything to do with you. Though pale and common drudge, you pale silver casket, and common drudge means ordinary slave, so he rejects silver casket also. Between man and man, but though meagre lead, which rather threatenest than thou promise aught, the paleness moves me more than eloquence, and here choose I, joy be the consequence. Between man and man means he says you, that is silver, keeps passing from one man to another in the form of silver coins. Though meagre lead means you are unattractive lead, which rather threatenest than dost promise aught means who threats rather than promises. Now he says this as it is the inscription on the casket. The paleness moves me no more than eloquence, he says to lead, that your blunt message inspires me more than eloquent words of gold and silver. Inscriptions are as Bassanio is the lover, so ready for risk any time. Here choose I means I am choosing now. Joy be the consequence means the outcome should be joyous. Now here Portia to herself says, how all the other passions flee to air as doubtful thoughts, and rash embrace despair, and shuddering fear, and green-eyed jealousy. O love, be moderate, allay thy ecstasy, in measure reign the joy, scant this excess, I feel too much thy blessing, make it less, for I fear surfeit. Now Portia is very excited. This she talks to herself. Portia says how all the emotions vanish in the air, such as feelings of doubts, rashly conceived absence of hope, and shuddering fear means shivering fear, and green-eyed jealousy has been personified. Green was associated with jealousy. Jealousy is personified here as said to be a monster with green eyes. Then she says, oh, thou God of love, be calm and do away with strong emotion. In measure reign thy joy, scant this excess, I feel too much thy blessing. In measure means in moderation. Rain thy joy means shower your joy. Scant this excess means restrain this excess of joy. I feel too much thy blessing. She says, I feel your blessing is too much for me to bear. For fear I surfeit, otherwise I should suffer from your excessive blessing. Now here Portia is saying, all my other emotions are vanishing into thin air, as all my doubts and desperations and fear and jealousy are all flying away. Oh, I need to calm down, make my love and my joy less intense. I'm feeling this too strongly. Please make my love less, or I'm going to overindulge, making myself sick. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel and like the video if you have understood.